So there's this young gentleman out of, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia, that has figured out a way to use sunlight to create gasoline or oil for vehicles through plastic waste. Not only has he figured out a way to do this, which is incredible in itself enough, but now this same young gentleman is alleging that people are not only following him, but he knows that he's not going to live very long, but he's not going to stop the mission. This is one of the most incredible things, one of the most incredible inventions I've heard in a while, one of the most incredible stories I've heard of in a while. And the reason why it's important or relevant for us to cover this on this channel is because in my Martin Luther King documentary, or for those of you who have watched the documentary, there was a portion in the documentary where I talked about how celebrities are used. One of the things that celebrities are used to do is to protect corporate interest, right? To protect capitalistic interest, or to promote things that are in favor of corporate interest. So they use celebrities to promote certain things like alcohol. They use these celebrities to discourage you from looking in certain directions, from thinking about certain things. Also in the Martin Luther King documentary, we talked about how they use people like Al Sharpton. No matter the circumstances, if it involves a so-called black person that was a victim of something and or lost a life, they're always going to scream racism because they're trying to discourage people from seeing the nuance of these situations and just trying to exploit a situation for financial gain. When you look at our education system, the way that it's set up, it discourages creativity. It does not cater to what is actually important and what will actually help you in life. Instead, it's all about conditioning. It's all about obedience. But that's a video for another day. When you look at Ian Carroll, the guy who helped host the Candace Owens show, he talked about one of the biggest videos that he's ever had that went viral was when he went into any, just like any of us can do, go into any local grocery store and you go to the tampon aisle. Tampons, for some reason, some way, for whatever reason, they're not required to talk about or list the ingredients that is included in tampons. And a lot of women don't know that what they're using is actually full of dangerous, harmful chemicals that actually destroys body parts and organs. I have a friend who specializes in cologne, and he was talking about how colognes are not required to list the ingredients that they use to create the cologne. And what a lot of people don't know is that what they put in a lot of this cologne is not only harmful, but it's also sinister. And I'm just going to leave it there because I don't want to get too deep into that. Anyways, I'm going to show you this guy because it's super relevant, y'all, because this is crazy. This is a crazy story. I'm going to show you all his video. I'm just going to show you a portion of his video where he breaks down the process. He shows us in real time the process of what it looks like to create this, what he called plastiline, not gasoline, but plastiline, right? He shows us the process of what goes into creating this. Then he demonstrates on camera in front of a crowd of people if it actually works and if it actually gets a vehicle to run and if it's actually efficient. And then I'm going to show you all the crazy video where he talks about these helicopters and people following him and how he know he's not going to live a long life.
I have 3 days to make 5 gallons of my plastiline, gasoline alternative made from plastic waste. Why? Well, because I have a very exciting collaboration coming where we're gonna run a beautiful vintage car off of this fuel. There's a lot of work to do. Let's get started. Wait. Much better. Much safer. Let's make this fuel, baby, from plastic waste. Eugene, Oregon. Eugene, Oregon. I am here and I have brought with me Plastadiesel, a diesel alternative made from plastic waste. a diesel alternative that has just passed a diesel test certification and has been scientifically proven to be cleaner than pump diesel. And today we are about to make history because we're going to run the first ever modern common rail fuel injection diesel vehicle ever off of plastic waste in all of human history right here in Eugene, Oregon, baby. So we got the engine, we got the fuel. Are you guys ready?
Good?
Let's crank it up.
Let's get it out of the way.
All right. He calls it plastic. All right, let's make our way to the front, everybody. Back how we were. Oh, yeah, watch out for that.
You want to donate? There's GoFundMe.
All right, I'll let you know. All right, everybody, make our way back to the front. All right. Remind to everybody here, everybody watching, if you want to support my mission to take sunlight and turn sunlight into fuel made from plastic waste, you can go to my GoFundMe here. We're looking to raise $16,000 to get all the solar equipment I need. Huge thank you to Dan. He's a solar engineer that's donating 15 solar panels right here in Chicago to the cause. Huge thank you to Damien. He helped connect me with everybody out here, help me give me a place to stay. Huge thank you to Tony for the truck, Ulysses for his truck. Huge thank you to Shannon for the space, and huge thank you to all of you and all Chicago and Illinois for making it out today. Everybody give yourself.
Yes, sir!
All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah!
And look, I gotta ask, do you guys think it's gonna run?
Yeah!
All right.
Yes, sir!
All right, Tony, hit it.
Yeah. Give it a minute. It's going. Here it comes.
So this technology has been around for a while. The technology of turning like organic matter into fuel, been around. It came down to, I saw an article in 2020 talking about 3.4 billion masks in the ocean. I mean, those masks, most of them made of plastic, and it just had me thinking, like, that's wild. That much plastic already, the masks just started being used.
Right.
3.4 billion, and the coral reefs.
COVID and all that.
They found them in like the Mariana Trench and stuff, so deep, and it's like, clearly there's an issue. There's no value to plastic.
Right.
Once it's done being used, we don't care. We want to get rid of it.
Right.
But I knew plastic is made of petroleum, crude oil. Going back to the energy thing, energy can't be destroyed nor created. So I'm like, well, that's untapped potential energy right there. I know that I'm not gonna live long, and that's why I put every day, every hour, every minute into building, into growing. Why am I out here working on this plastic in the fuel reactor I've been working on for 5 years, since I was 17? Why am I out here in 100-degree weather? Why am I out here despite being falsely accused and reported to the EPA and the IRS? Why am I out here despite weird black helicopters that turn off their radar transponder circling me 6 times at night? Why am I out here sleeping in my van, crazy humidity, mosquitoes, gnats flying in, and yet I still do it? Why am I out here despite having to drive 4 hours every time I want to work on this machine, because when I was doing it in my parents' backyard, I blew myself up and I had to go to the hospital for 2nd-degree burn surgery. I do this because this is my mission that I've assigned myself to. I do this because I do not fear death. I do not fear suffering or uncomfortability. You know what I fear? I fear allowing an idea of something that may not even exist or happen have enough control over your entire life to where you're not even really living your life. That's the only thing I fear. And thus, I am completely set on what I want to do here, and nothing will steer my course but myself. and I am not a quitter. And now that I've set my mind on this, because I wish to liberate humanity, I wish to liberate humanity from this cycle in which we're bound by waste, in this cycle in which we're bound by division, in this cycle in which we're bound by not knowing ourselves. I wish to free us all from all of this. And now that I'm set on that mission, I'm not giving up. And so it will happen, no matter what. Because you know what? To me, when I'm building something, I expect it to be hard. I expect it to be uncomfortable. I expect it to be difficult. You know why? Because that's the whole point.
Another thing I talked about in the Martin Luther King documentary was how a lot of these people, you see a trend over the years with all these different people right before they pass away. They tell us how they pass away. I got a video coming up on XXXTentacion, the rapper. Martin Luther King did it. Tupac did it. Biggie did it. A lot of these people warned us beforehand that they felt like they weren't going to be living much longer. And now here we have a guy who has created something that could 100% impact these people. Like when you look at oil, and just imagine if we were running vehicles off of this. And I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. When I was a kid, I used to look at plastic. I literally used to look at plastic and I used to say, why do I feel like we could be doing something with that? Because they tell us to recycle it. I'm saying I just feel like there's a better use that we could be utilizing with that. But I quickly stopped thinking that way because, again, our education system does not encourage creativity. That's not how it's designed. It's far out of date, and it just teaches us how to survive in a system, not how to become our own bosses. And what this guy has done is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen before. And apparently he's been working on this since he was 17. I think he's been doing this just a few years now. And I'll include the link to his videos in the description if you all want to donate and just support. But this has to be terrifying. One of the worst experiences you can have as a human, I'm sure, is to know or fear that your life is going to end soon. And there's probably very little that you can do about it to protect yourself. And when you're only trying to just make the world a better place, but because the way our world is ran, right? Like cancers and things of that sort. Come on, man. We all know. I was actually just talking yesterday. I went to a friend's house yesterday and I was talking to him. He's a doctor and I've known him for 7-8 years now. We used to work in the restaurant business together, and we were talking and he was saying something he realized as he got into medicine was that all the things he had heard beforehand, he know now to be an absolute fact, which is there are many things out here, many sicknesses out here that they can 100% cure that they choose not to. He said some of these things can be easily cured, but they choose not to because if you don't have sickness, you don't have profit, right? You got to create the sickness in order to be able to help people. You got to create the problem, the Hegelian dialectic tactic that we also talked about. We've been talking about on this channel. You got to create the problem so then you can create the solution, even if the solution that you're presenting to people, so to speak, is probably not even the best solution, right? So to speak. It's probably just something to put a band-aid on it. But is it actually fixing the problem? It seems that what this guy is doing is going to impact a lot of people's bottom line. And I'm terrified for the guy, man. I'm actually thinking about reaching out to him and having him on the channel. If you all want to see something like that, hop in the comment section and let me know. Pray for everybody mentioned in this video, especially this gentleman. I believe his name is Julian Brown. Terrifying. This is just terrifying, man. But I just wanted to bring this story to you all. I heard about it. Apparently he's been doing this for a while. But because of his video talking about his life being in danger and he knows that he's going to not live very much longer, it just recently came across my radar. Y'all hop in the comment section. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. Until next time. Peace. Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.